Okay, good morning, boys and girls. Got another minute or two, but I thought I'd go ahead and jump in here. Welcome to the early morning Bubba. Every Monday morning between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., and it's for the hard-working construction professionals. If you ain't up and at 'em yet, you ain't up and at 'em. I gotta change a couple things, y'all bear with me. It looks like I'm out of focus. It's time in the morning I'm supposed to be out of focus. Alright, let me see what I got. Y'all hold on, it might get a little funky. Yep, there she went, and there she came. Now I feel appropriately in focus. There we go. That need to be a how we doing out there, boys and girls? All right. How's this? Is this background coming through? I need to shut it back a little bit. Let me see. I hope that's not too terribly uncomfortable. I think I got it. Might have it worked out for some, at least background music. Hopefully, I can get it worked out where I can do other stuff like sound effects and all that crazy stuff. I can't tell. And I'm going to pull myself up so I can check if the live stream's doing. Y'all go ahead and start checking in, sending me a message, sending me a chat, I think they call them. I'd like to hear from you. But go ahead and make that happen for me. And I'm going to do some searching. Alright. Let's do that. That's the wrong one. Let's see. How we doing? Everybody up and at 'em? I hope I'm doing. Yeah, I'm on the right one, I think. Alright. Let's see where we're at. Nope. I need to go back. Alright. There we go. See if I come up with the right one. I don't know. I can't ever find it. Good morning. All right. Check in with me. Where we doing? Where are you going? Good morning. Good morning. It's Bubba. I hope you're ready to kick off another week strong. Coffee in hand, boots on, and mindset right. That's how we start Mondays around here. If you're alive right now, if you're rolling, let me know. Where you going? Where you been? What you doing? And give me. All right. I'm putting it around. All right. Good morning. Let's see if I popped in. There we go. I just sent myself a little text. I wanted to see if the stream is doing good. All right. Good morning. See if it popped in there. Old wife is upstairs. She's sick this morning. Coughing and hacking all night. Here I am. I'm here anyway. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me see here. Got that coffee? Picking up you guys? Getting ready to roll? Are you already rolling? You already picking up tools and supplies? Or are you just now rubbing the sleep out of your head? Oh, man. That is good coffee. I hope everybody's doing good. All right. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. I got a little ahead of myself this morning. Jumped in. You know, I'm trying my best with this thing. I'm trying to present an appealing and a pleasing environment where you can come and get yourself together, get ready to do that thing that you do, and get you motivated, get your mind right. You know, I'm a safety let me put this in a quote. I'm a safety professional. But more importantly, I want you to have a grateful day, and I want you to do your job well and build pride in yourself, take pride in your team, and just everything good. I want everything to be good. Now, can everything be good all the time? No. That's why I get on here. If you're having a hard time, things ain't going your way, you feeling a little depressed, then you can tune in here and we'll do what we can to get your head right. You know, that's 90% of it right there, getting your head right. Now, every week I try to have a phrase or a word of the week. This week's word, or better yet, phrase, is accountability. You know, I can't move around. This old microphone is in my way. What can I do different? Yeah, I could put up one of them shotgun deals. Y'all tell me what... I got a shotgun microphone. I don't know if it'd be... I don't know if I want to do that or not. I think I do. I'd like to have that thing mounted somewhere. I can move around. I thought this microphone sounds good. I like it. It sounds good, but doggone, it's got to be right up on you. And yeah, I'm bumping the wires and everything. I wonder if I could. There. I got a little more room now. I'm not bumping into it. Y'all tell me how it sounds. Anyway, this week's word, or better yet, phrase, is accountability. Accountability means taking ownership, and not just when things go right, but especially when they don't. And that's tough. That's tough taking responsibility when things go sour. Uh, and I learned a long time ago when you when you own it, you're gonna work. Let, let me take these headphones off. I'm gonna get something important to say. When you own it, you're going to do a much better job. You're going to work hard. You're going to make sure that if you're responsible for a project, a task, a crew, that you're going to uh, do your best to see that they do their best. If and everybody knows those guys. Well, it ain't my fault. I told them boys, and yeah. I don't want to hear that. You ain't accountable. Uh, I want a man who's accountable, or a lady. Uh, you're responsible. You're responsible to yourself for your choices, your safety, your effort. You're accountable to your family, the people who expects you to come home every day. To come home every day in one piece. You're accountable to your coworkers because your attitude and your actions affect them too. And if you're taking a paycheck from a man, you're accountable to him as well. The folks, they trust you to represent them well, and you should make every effort to do that. I'm trying not to have that too serious look on my face, but this is pretty serious. If a company, if they're giving you a paycheck, they expect you to be out there and representing them and doing a good job of representing them so that they perform better and their company performs better and they have a good reputation, and you're a part of that. So you're accountable to those folks as well. And also, don't forget, finally, you're accountable to your community and your character, because who you are at work echoes in every part of your life. So your behavior at work tells me pretty much how you behave everywhere else in your life. Anyway, let's keep moving along. I'd like to see, I've got one viewer. Good morning, you. Oh, it's me. Checking my string health. Anyway, I've been doing this for quite a while now. I don't know how many of these live streams I've done, but I'm gonna continue doing them for as long as it takes, and hopefully it'll evolve. And I know it's early, and I got to do it early in the morning. Because I can develop my skill set while I'm talking to you. Think about that. I don't even get paid to do this. I'm just up here early in the morning to get out there and touch bases. And I imagine I could take my email list or account, or what do you call it, contacts list, and generate an email and send this thing out and let everybody know I'm doing this, and I could broadcast it on multiple platforms. But I'm sticking to YouTube, and I'm sticking right here and developing the skill sets and hoping it'll develop on its own without interrupting or self-promotion. I know that you have to self-promote, and I do that to some extent, but I believe the best form of self-promotion is action, doing things, back to accountability, though. We're talking about that. Accountability, accountability, it's not about blame. It's about integrity. It's not waiting on someone else to fix things, but being the kind of person others can count on. That's what it's all about. So to sum that up, and we'll start going on and talking about other stuff. Accountability is doing the right thing, even when nobody's watching and everybody's tired. Brother, I've been there, man, been dogged out, tired, and one more thing to do. You know, it was, even on the weekend, I got one more thing to do, and I've been putting some stuff off, and I need to do them. But anyway, here's this week, you know, we could tell jokes and all that, and if somebody wants to pop in and start a chat, we can start a chat. But I've got a little script here, and you know, this past week on the other channel, the safety channel, it's middle class, the other middle class, Bubba. I got two of them. One of them's got a blank somewhere, a space somewhere in them. You can look up there at the email. I need to put that other channel on there, don't I? There's the email address right there. And there's the email address if you ever need to get a hold of me. And all right. Well, oh, I'm using the wrong. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Using the wrong darn. There's my email address. I was showing y'all my other live stream, or my other channel. Yeah, my other live. There's my email address. If y'all need me, it's right there, and my name is right there. Okay, so I need to put that other. I need to put that other thing on there. That. Other channel where you can find those safety videos. I do need to do that. And you know what? I wonder who wrote the book of love. Last week we talked on the safety channel, talked about cold weather, and it's creeping in. And that cold weather brings its own set of challenges. On the MCB Ventures last week, we talked about cold weather hazards. If you missed that video, go check it out. It's called Cold Can Kill Just Slower Than Heat. This week, we're going to be pivoting to chemical burns, or chemicals. 18. We're going to be talking about chemicals on the channel, because you don't need flames to get burned. Chemical exposure can burn your skin, your lungs, your eyes without you even seeing a spark. So whether it's, you know, like all kinds of stuff on a job site we use, whether it's fuel, a degreaser, a cleaner, or a solvent, read the label, wear the right PPE, and know where the SDS sheets are. And take a minute and read those SDS sheets. Your employer is responsible for providing. Your employer is responsible for providing the SDS for any chemical on a job site. Now that's their responsibility, but that doesn't alleviate, just because they might not have it. That doesn't alleviate your responsibility to take care of your own health. Got these things right here. And everybody got one these days. Everybody got one. Well, it's a smartphone. And you can put in your Google search or Bing or whoever you use, your search engine, and type in the name of that chemical and put SDS behind it, and it will pop up and give you the SDS on that thing. And the SDS sheet has like 16 different divisions in it, and it talks about everything from what's in that chemical and what can hurt you and what kind of protection you need to what you can use to protect yourself. So make sure that you understand what you're dealing with every day. Even concrete has got certain things in it that can cause burns. So read the label, wear the right PPE, know where the eye wash stations are, read the SDS, all that stuff. And the SDS sheets, they'll tell you what to do if you can, in case there's a spill and all that crazy stuff, medical treatment and all that. This is the time to figure out what's in a barrel before it spills. I can tell you a quick story. I better hold off. It doesn't take fire to burn you, it takes neglect. Let's talk about, we talked about accountability. Here's a job site challenge for you. Holding each other accountable. And this week's challenge is about holding each other accountable. When you see someone doing something unsafe, you've got two choices. You can ignore it, or you can address it. Accountability means that you care enough to speak up, not to embarrass, but to protect. When you hold your buddy accountable, you're telling him you want him to go home safe too. Just don't watch out for hazards. Watch out for habits. If someone on your crew exhibits unsafe habits and uncaring attitude, you need to work with them best you can. And if they can't be worked with, I sure wouldn't want them on my crew, because they don't care nothing about themselves. What makes you think they're going to care about you or one of your other crew members? What kind of, we talked about it earlier, their character. What kind of character are they? How do they act toward their children, their wife, their family members, their community? So take a strong look at that kind of behavior, because a strong crew isn't just skilled, they're accountable to themselves and to each other. Okay? Tell me what you think about that. Send me a chat, send me a message, send me something on these things. Y'all know how to do this. I'm old man. I'm not in on you. These young folks, you young whippersnappers. I still got, hang on a minute. Let me check my background music. Y'all get to go along with me as I got something going on back there. How's that coming out? If that gets too loud, y'all let me know. If it's interfering, breaking up, sounds dumb, let me know. I ain't got no assistant except me. Anyway, accountability. Be accountable to each other. Look out for your buddy. Look out for one another. Anyway, anybody got a comment? Give me a comment. Tell me what you think. How do you hold each other accountable on your job site? What do you do if you're a supervisor? How do you hold each other? How do you hold people accountable? I want to see something. Oh, I ain't got it in here. I got it on the other one. How do y'all hold each other accountable? What do you do? What do you look for? What do you expect if you're a supervisor? You don't have to be a supervisor. You could be an individual on the job site. When you're working with a crew now, we just got through talking about somebody who comes on board and they may not be they may not have the best work practice or habits as far as safety or character or anything like that. How about you? You ever been assigned to a crew or went to work for a company and the people you were with were somewhat less than wholesome? You know, birds of a feather flock together. Napoleon Hill talks about it. How does he say it? He says, if you associate with a criminal mindset, at first you abhor it. It scares you. You don't want. But if you stay in that, then you kind of, well, they're all right. I got to know them. They're good folks. And then as time goes on and you stay with them, their behavior and habits become your behavior and habits. Think about that. Think about that. I want to adjust this and lighten up, boys and girls. Did y'all get that beat? Anyway. So, birds of a feather flock together. Two peas in a pod. And go together like peas and carrots. Anyway. Let's see where we at now. How about a laugh break? Anybody got a joke? Y'all send me a joke. I'd like to have a joke this morning. Anybody? Anybody got a joke? I'd like to hear a joke. Here's one. Why did the concrete worker get promoted? Because he really set things in stone. That'd be a good one to tell my grandson to take the barber. My grandson, he's a trip. Every time he goes to get a haircut, him and his daddy, they go and find a joke on the radio. They got, Siri, tell me a joke. And they'll get a joke and he'll go in the barber shop and he's always got a joke for the barbers and that tickles them guys. Every time I go in there, they say, he told us a joke. There's a joke he told us this week. What is it? And they'll tell me the joke and they get me a good giggle. I say, that boy's being raised right, I think. All right, here's one. A little more on the serious side. What's the difference between a bad day and a safety violation? Probably about 5 minutes of not paying attention. Yep. Told my boss I was practicing safety at home. He said, really? I said, yeah. I used 3 points of contact getting off the couch. We had a guy who'd always say, it's not my job. Boy, don't you love him, guys? Then one day he tripped over a hose. He didn't move because it wasn't his job. His foreman didn't yell. He said, accountability, son. Sometimes your job is to make sure everyone else can do theirs safely. He never said that phrase again. I didn't move that hose. It wasn't his fault laying there on the floor. Oh man, you know, I see that all the time. People walking right by a hazard. You know, I eat bottle and then pick it up and bottle and then pick it up and throw it away. Pick up the lid and throw it away. And they started seeing me doing that, and then it wasn't very long before I didn't see any water bottles anymore, and I wasn't seeing any more trash on the ground. And then before you know it, there was a guy setting up trash bags on the job site on the floor they were working on. And I said, made it right in front of everybody. Thank you. That's good. I appreciate it. Didn't have to tell them nothing. Just started my own behavior. I think I took the first trash bag up there and started just gathering stuff up and showing what I expected and participating in it as well. So I see that stream is lagging a little bit. I'm on the satellite. Y'all know that already. I ain't got no internets around here. I'm way up in the mountains. I'm in the bunker, hiding out. This is the first time I'm back here in the home studio in a month, I guess. No, y'all were fortunate enough because I didn't have to leave until Monday mornings. I think y'all saw one or two episodes, live streams, where I was in a hotel room. But I'm back here and in the home studio now, and I tell you what, I like being at home. But on the other hand now, out there in the field, and I was in a place called Paradise, Kentucky, and it was a TVA project. And I was called upon to go out and help with a project to kind of fill in, so to say. And it was a great group of guys. And I got a little letter from the project manager, the PM, and telling me he appreciated me coming out and blending in smoothly and quickly with the team and maintaining whatever they had going on. And I replied, I said, hat tip to you guys, because the team was already developed a good culture, and it was a pleasure working with them. And I meant that. It's not every day. 3 or 4 times a year, 5, 6 times. I forget. Several times this year and last year, I get requested to go out and do a couple things. Small company, and they'll call upon my experience, and I get to go out and work with their guys and exhibit how I do things. And I guess I've got somewhat of a reputation, and help them get themselves in order. So it's a real joy, pleasure, and experience when I get out there and be able to work with the guys in the field, and I appreciated it. But I'm glad to be back home too. Fishing season is upon us, so I'm ready to start doing that, get some fishing in. But dadgum, I got grass to cut, garden to put to bed, and I got a driveway that needs work. So anyway, last week a few of the folks wrote in saying Focus Talk really hit home. Staying mentally in the game makes a difference on ladders, scaffolding, with moving equipment, anything you're doing. Staying focused, staying in the game. I got one message from a guy who said, I caught myself using a ladder setup on Friday, stopped, fixed it, and realized I was about to make the exact mistake you talked about. Well, there you go, staying focused. That's that right there. That's accountability in action. He was accountable to himself, and as you move through, and your co-workers are watching you perform, you're setting examples. And you don't have to be a leader. You should be a leader, and if you act that way, eventually you will be a leader, I promise you. um, you get pulled, you get recognized, I promise you. So staying focused on the job, being accountable, you can't do one without doing the other. Focus and accountability, it don't work. You've got to be both of them. And the other one will force you to be the other one. So if you're already accountable, you're going to stay focused. And if you're focused, you will be accountable. That's a character trait. You can't change. You can't change that relationship. Now, you can make a decision to be accountable, and you can make a decision to be focused, but one always follows the other. So think about that, boys and girls. Boy, my eyes is... Here we go. It is 6:35 in the morning. Y'all send me a message. The stream looks like it's doing okay right now. Me rubbing my eyes. I bet somebody else is rubbing them eyes this morning too. Getting started. Here it is at 5:38. Some of y'all just now getting up. We've been going. Y'all better catch up with us. It's been going since 5. Actually, I've been going since 4. Got the garbage up, got it over there by the door. I'm fixing to go for a walk at 6 o'clock. Listen to Mike Slater talking about how grateful we should be and how great, and give everybody an opportunity. If y'all got Sirius XM, tune into the Patriot channel at 6 o'clock on Monday mornings. Mike Slater, he's on there. And he gives, I think, that first half hour of the hour every Monday morning, he talks about being grateful. And that's another very first step that you can take to put direction in your life. Being grateful for the opportunity that you have to just to have a job, just to get up, just to be able to watch Scott. If you're grateful for those kind of things, it sets your mind for the rest of the day on how to look for the good things. If you wake up in the morning and you're focused on, man, I don't feel well, I didn't get enough sleep this weekend, I wish I'd have gone to bed earlier last night, all that stuff, you're setting the pace for the rest of the day. So if you get up and start your day with a grateful attitude, it really does. It sets your mind on the good things for the rest of the day. Give that a shot. If you don't do that already, start today. You know, we talked about chemical burns a minute ago. And along with chemical burns, to prevent that kind of thing, you need to make sure that that any kind of chemical you have on the job site is properly labeled and you store it properly. Most chemicals that we don't use in bulk, we may pick up at the Home Depot, and it's on in its own container, and it's labeled, and it's got the hazards and the cautions, and you can look up the SDS online for it and all that stuff. And so it's pretty easy to determine what safety precautions you have to use with it. However, sometimes on bigger projects, you may bring stuff in large drums, and the drum will be labeled, and knowing what it is, but you can't tote a drum everywhere on a job site. Truck drivers, they buy DEF and 55-gallon drum or equipment, big heavy equipment. If you're on a wrecking job, you don't want to buy a gallon of that stuff at a time when a track hoe might take 4 or 5 gallons of that stuff, and you've got 3 or 4, 15 pieces of equipment. It's better to buy it in bulk. But if you have to break out a little bit of it, it's like a paint thinner or something like that, and put it in a smaller container out of a bigger drum, make sure you got that bottle labeled. Keep all your containers labeled, even if it's a transfer bottle. Unknown liquid is not a safe label. Store chemicals by type, and this is important too. Even when we were talking about burning gases, you got oxygen and acetylene, or you might have oxygen and propane. Keep those fuels and oxidizers separated by at least 20 feet. Don't keep fuels with fuels, acids with acids. Don't keep it all jumbled together. That's a recipe for disaster. So make sure you keep them all separated by an appropriate, whatever the recommended amount is. OSHA has standards. Look up the standards on it. Check with the manufacturer if it's not in the OSHA, or check with your company. Check with your company health and safety manual. And never mix cleaning products or solvents. You might make something that's toxic without knowing it. Make sure there's spill kits available too. We were on this TVA, and kudos to these power companies: TVA, Georgia Power, our Southern Company, TVA, Florida Light and Power, Duke Energy, Dominion Power. I've worked with all those companies, and they're real stringent about making sure that there are spill kits available on a job site. And if you get over a gallon or two of spill, you got to report that. You got to report that to everybody in the known universe too. So make sure that the spill kits are stocked and accessible. Smart storage is part of accountability. We've been talking about accountability this morning. So if you use it, secure it for the next person. Got a funny story. It's not really funny, or not, I'll tell you. But I've been on job sites where there's some heavy equipment, some long reach equipment. Some of the guns reach over 130 feet in the air. And I was on a job site one time. I was on top of another building a good way away, and I could just barely see that processor working, cutting down the building. And I could just barely see. And he got tangled up or something, and something tore a hose on that thing, and I could see hydraulic fuel. It was like a fountain, big old fountain. And you got to think about how much hydraulic fuel is in that devil. All those lines, and you just can't shut it off. You got to get it to the ground to access the shutoff valve. That sounds like a good thing to do. Put in some automatic shutoff valves. If it detects a free flow, not under pressure, it can cut a valve off. Maybe I need to. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write that down. Pressure sensitive. Auto, hydraulic, shut off, valves on high reach equipment. You may have to have a series. If y'all beat me to the patent on this, good luck to you, man. Have fun with it. I wish you the best of luck, because this note I just made may sit there forever. And I'll lose a millions of dollars to some guy who watches this on a replay, or somebody who might be watching it right now. I'm cool with that. Anyway, where we at? It is 5:44 in the morning. Here's a quote. When everyone is responsible, no one is accountable. Be the one who steps up. Let's talk about that. When everyone is responsible, no one is accountable. What could that possibly mean? I guess something like personalities, leadership type and they're all doing their job. I don't know. So anyway, it's except for a short period of time in my career, I didn't want a title on my card. I didn't want a title. I didn't want to be pigeonholed. One company, they made me in the on my business card, it said, what did it say? Safety manager, safety something or no, I don't remember. But all the other places I worked, it just had my name. And because I didn't want anybody to think that my role was defined. And I didn't want to read that card and define my role. I wanted my role to be responsible. Responsible for safety, responsible for production, responsible for anything on the job site. I needed to be responsible for that. I wanted to be responsible for that. I wanted to show the project manager, the president of the company, the new guy who just hired in, who was pushing the broom, that I had certain high expectations in myself. And if you're working with me, I had high expectations in you. And that worked out well over time. And boy, I gave out the cards too. I seen guys that have a box of 500 or 1,000, big old long box of cards. Man, big old long box of cards. Big old long box of business cards. And they'd have them cards for 5 years. Me, man, I'd blow through them once a year. I was throwing them cards out there. And I still get a lot of calls from them cards. I need to order some more. If you walk up and the first thing you do when you meet somebody is give them your card, think about that message right there. Here I am. This is me. A lot of people stand there and exchange information. Both of them's got their smartphones in their hands. But that card, it avoids that pause in the conversation. I keep them in the old shirt pocket. I'd have a stack of them. I'd always have a card on me, and I'd give them out. Here's a card. My name is Scott. This is what I do. This is what I'm here for. And worked out well. I still get calls. Anyway, looks like we're running down the clock, boys and girls. On Middle Class Bubba Ventures, MCB Ventures this week, we're diving into the chemical hazards. We talked about that in safety data sheets. What they are, where to find them, and how to actually use them. We'll be covering in this on the other channel. I don't know why YouTube algorithm, maybe I misread it, but I've got 2 different channels. One of them is, they're both Middle Class Bubba, but the live stream, the one you're on right now, Middle Class Bubba, is all one word. And on the other channel, and you'll see the same setup, it's a Middle Class Space Bubba. And they're 2 different channels because I don't want to run live streams on the other channel, and I don't want to run videos on this channel. I just keep them separate, and I probably need to do some changing. It might be confusing for guys who are trying to follow me. So I don't know if you're a YouTube expert and you got a big following and you've done things right, you think, and you run across this, help me out. Tell me what to do, how to do this. But anyway, on the other channel, we'll be covering the SDSs, how to read hazard symbols, and why you should never treat them as paperwork to be filed away. Knowledge is protection. Take 5 minutes to know what you're working with. It doesn't take that much work. You got that smartphone, look up that chemical. You want that stuff splashing in your eyes? You want that stuff getting on your skin? You don't know what the absorption rate is. And it's always years. Sometimes it confuses me. Let's take something like Roundup. The label is loaded down with warnings and all this stuff about getting it on your skin. And now if you're a homeowner and you splash a little on your skin and you deal with it for a couple days a year, and you splash a little on you, and it may not hurt you. But if you're a farmer, if you're a farm worker and you're dealing with that stuff all the time, and every day you're getting it splashed on you, years after years after years of just a little bit every day, or a little bit once a week, or a little bit once a month, it may have some detrimental effects. And that's just one item. Think about all the things that we deal with on a daily basis. I use that on my wife. I don't want that chemical stuff. I don't want to breathe them old house cleaning chemicals. That stuff might affect me in a negative way. In all seriousness now, she's using that stuff all the time, and it makes me wonder about how it might affect her over the long haul. So housewives aren't guys who take better care of your house than I do. Make sure you're following safety precautions, even with cleaning chemicals around your house. I don't know what that old pine saw will do to you after 20 years. I don't even know what's in it. It used to be turpentine. Now I have no idea. They change up chemistry on stuff all the time, keep the name. In my shop, I've got paint thinners and I've got solvents that thin out rubber cement or contact cement that I use when I do leather work. I've got tooling. I've got paint thinners. I've got turpentine. I've got denatured alcohol. I got all kinds of stuff in the cabinet, and I'm always careful with it. Don't worry too much about the denatured alcohol, or what they call rubbing alcohol. Don't have any of that ethanol around. I don't keep that around anymore. Anyway, make sure you're taking care of that and not paying attention, that's the main thing. Just pay darn attention. Anyway, we're running down on time. I show it being 5:54. Anyway, this week I'm grateful for the people who take accountability seriously. It's a big thing when I'm on a job, man. When I see people being accountable and I see people being sharp, I'm going, phew, I appreciate this. And I tell them right off the bat, I want to reinforce that good behavior. And those guys who do who do what's right because it's right, and it's not because someone's watching. Accountability is rational. I get paid to observe. Well, that's part of the job. And as I stand in a corner somewhere, and or if I'm standing somewhere and I'm talking to somebody else, my eyes are always moving, and I'm watching people, and behavior reveals itself, and it does it pretty quickly too. And when I'm on a job site and I'm watching people behave, and I can tell they've been trained and that they have that their leadership has high expectations in them, and they have high expectations in themselves, I'm just there to keep promoting what they're doing a good job. And if I see something that goes a little astray, I'll be like, hey, you're doing a good job, but maybe consider this. And I don't call anybody out publicly. By golly, we're all out there working. I want to promote you. I want to see you successful. I want to see you safe. I want to see you go home every day. I want to see you as a happy individual. That's what I want to see. And I'll do anything I can to see that is part of the process. That's the most important part of the process, and I want to maintain that. Anywho, I'm fixing to roll up. What do they call that? No pipe fitter trade. I'm gonna roll up and get out of here. I'm gonna roll up. So, as you're moving through your day, let's stay sharp. Make sure you're looking out for each other, and keep raising that bar just a little bit higher every day, because you don't want to stagnate. You want to keep being just a little bit better every day. So as you're out there, stay safe, stay sharp, and stay on time. Man, you know how I am about time. Being on time every day. When you're supposed to be there, by golly, be there. And I'm going to start signing this thing off. I appreciate you watching. And I appreciate you stopping by. And the most important thing that you can do is to have a grateful day. And we're gonna wrap this thing up. All right, let me see how this soul background music plays. Come on. I hope that's getting out. I've been having trouble, still probably having trouble with it. All right, boys and girls. Look out for yourself. Look out for yourself. You know why? Look out for yourself, because you're number one. Look out for your co-workers and help ensure their safety. And the most important thing is have a grateful day. Peck. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next time.